Welcome to this presentation skills in English part 2. In this part, we are going to see how to begin a presentation and how to present it with style. According to Plato, the beginning is the most important part of a work. A work well begun is half done. So, how shall you have your impressive start when you find yourself facing people who have their eyes fixed on you? So, it is your responsibility to look at them in their eyes and maintain eye contact. This will help you to feel confident. How to feel confident? You could rehearse your own introduction intensely so that you are sure what you are going to say. Be proud of your own competence. Remind yourself that you are more competent than the audience in the subject matter you are presenting. The first 3 minutes of the presentation are very important. So, how could you start the presentation? You could welcome the audience, say a word of thanks, put up a positive posture, and use a hook. What is a hook? A hook is a technique designed to grab the attention of the audience. It could be done in various ways. You could start the presentation with an impact. So, how could you do that? You could state the objectives or make a controversial statement to wake the people up. You could ask the audience a question and give them time to think about the question. Introduce using a personal anecdote, which is very amusing. Show an interesting audio visual, or you could do an act with the audience, or use an apt quotation. You could use any one of these in order to create an impact on the audience. The next way to create an impact is to use humor. Humor is the best way to keep the audience attentive. How to bring smile on the face of the audience? There are some tips given here. The first one could be play on the words in the presentation. Use a fun visual or a cartoon. The personal introduction can be made very interesting and humorous. You could also introduce humorous anecdotes. All this would bring smile on the faces of the audience, and that will light up the presentation. Here you find two pictures. The second one is very attractive, and you find the people enjoying the presentation. So, in order to attract the audience, the presentation should be humorous, colorful, and capture the attention of the audience. After making the impressive start, it is time to present the content. In order to present the content, the presenter could use a range of styles. Each presenter could adapt his or her own personal style. It could be presented with the audience sitting quietly and listening, or using an interactive style. The presenter can have a powerful style if he or she could convince all the members in the audience. The presenter also poses many questions during the presentation, and the audience react with their viewpoints. This is called the questioning style. The presenter also could use rhetorical questions that would make the audience think of finding answers. But whatever style is adapted, it should be the right one. Now let's see what would go into the body of the presentation. First, introduce the main points one by one. Provide arguments, evidence, and examples. Reference your work, that is, cite from where the material has been taken. Use signals and links. It's not just the words alone, non-verbal communication also play a major role. It is said that non-verbal cues are very important in a presentation. In fact, the total impact of words is only 7%, whereas 38% is vocal, which includes the tone of voice, inflection, and other sounds, and 55% is non-verbal. So when we talk about vocal communication, voice of a presenter is very crucial for its success. When we say voice, it means volume, tempo, tone, chunking, and articulation. The presenter has to speak loudly for the people, even in the last row, to hear. The tempo has to be the right one for the audience to follow. The tone has an enormous emotional impact. Chunking is cutting sentences into chunks of meaning so that emphasis is given on the needed words. Articulation of words would help the audience to understand the presentation well. In nonverbal communication, the effective body language is very important. The looks, the way we dress, and also the movements or the gestures of the hand. So, all this would help a presenter to make the presentation very effectively. So, how to improve the body language? Maintain eye contact, give a smile, look at everyone, and speak. The picture here is a very good example of a good body language, a positive approach to presentation. So, how are you going to engage the audience? Using multimedia visuals would add color to your presentation. But before using a visual, ask these questions. Why am I using this visual? Be clear about the purpose of the visual, and care should be taken to choose the correct visual. The words or the key words should be of the right font size. You could bring variety with colors. Highlight all the key points. Use of graphics, effects, and audiovisual will enhance the quality of the presentation and keep the audience engaged. How to feel confident? You could rehearse your own introduction intensely so that you are sure what you are going to say. Be proud of your own competence. Remind yourself that you are more competent than the audience in the subject matter you are presenting. There is an activity given here. That's a small paragraph. Some of the words are missing, and you could fill in the passage taking the words given in the box. So now we have come to the end of part 2. Thank you for listening, and in part 3, we'll be discussing how to close the presentation and how to handle the questions. Thank you.